What's up? It's your boy Rick Hyde, Big BSF. And if I'm not at Native Hype Mark, I'm right here at Shaman 2, 1046 Bloomingdale Road. Pull up. Ricky!
All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Moneyball Show. I am D Money. I have with me tonight Brayden High. Brayden is a Canisius commit, longtime baseball player. This kid's been putting in work, and we are here tonight to hear a little bit of his story as far as the work he is putting in, his daily regimen, and what his goals are as far as playing baseball. So, what's up, buddy? Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. My pleasure. My pleasure. Let's start right from the jump here. What age did you start playing baseball? How did you get involved? How'd you fall in love with the sport?
So I was about pre-K age, 4 years old, and my mom walked up to me in the kitchen. She's like, "You want to play some baseball?" I'm like, "Sure," and kind of just stuck with it from there, and really worked hard and loved it. So yeah.
Now you played. Where did you grow up? Where did you play? Little Loop, or was it Lou Gehrig, or where did you play?
So I go to Roy Hart High School. So I played kind of like the house league until about 8 years old, and then played some travel baseball through Anjo, and kind of just stuck with them till about 12U, and then Thunderwolves, and then I played in Long Island too.
So tell us that process, right? So, for example, I have a 10-year-old son. He made the Academy 11U team, right? He's 10 and he's stoked about that. He's playing up and he's super excited. And I think without going into every parent who, hopes that one day their kid will be a Major League Baseball player, how did you kind of get to a next level, I guess, right? So you're playing house and then you're moving up, you're playing travel ball. When was it that you were kind of noticed that, hey, we might have something real special here?
So I give a lot of my credit to Hot Corner Athletics. It's you probably know it. It's a local baseball place in Lockport now.
Hot Corner?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. I took some coaching clinics with them last year, actually.
Yep. Yeah. So I being there, it's like it's a great culture. I've surrounded myself with tons of great athletes, and I'm like, man, I kind of want to like work really hard at this because I see some guys around here doing some really cool things, and kind of want to join into that.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. How old are you?
17.
You're 17. Okay.
Yeah,
So you're getting to be an old man in baseball years.
yeah, basically done with travel baseball.
I mean, it's crazy, isn't it? Because you have
Now,
these kids, Dominican and all this other stuff, and really nobody knows how old those guys are anyways, but they could be 13 for all we know. But
yeah.
you get to a point where you're a prospect, right? And then, what is your path? Do you eventually is the goal to get drafted here? I mean, what are you trying to do? What are you trying to accomplish?
So I'm just gonna right now, like my whole life, I've always wanted to go pro. Like I'm gonna work as hard as I can to try to do that, and if not, I'll still have the college degree
Sure.
along with it too. But
Sure.
the main
No,
thing is to go pro.
yeah, and that's a great attitude. And you sound like a bright kid. You know how difficult it is to go pro, but it also
Sure.
sounds to me
Yep.
like you're confident, and that you kind of have a little bit of edge to you, where you just kind of feel like you might have the skills. What position, what's your specialty position? I mean, I know they still kind of bounce you guys around a little bit, but are you pitching? Are you
Yeah.
third or what are you?
I play mostly all positions in the outfield. In college, I'll probably be like a right fielder because I have a better arm and not necessarily the speed of a center fielder. I'm more like
Okay.
the arm guy. So
Okay.
probably corner outfield.
Isn't that funny though? They say the speed of the center fielder, yet you got Ronald Acuna over and right, one of the fastest
Yeah.
guys I've seen, right? It's almost so hypocritical when they say that stuff. But you need the arm, you need the speed, and when you're at that level and you're such an elite player, I guess it doesn't really matter, right? Once you've made it and you're in the outfield in Major League Baseball, you're fine. What is a day in the life for you, man? Like what is your daily grind? How hard do you work? I heard you say, you're working your tail off. So how hard do you work?
Yeah. So that's definitely a thing that it's kind of like a characteristic of mine. So usually like Monday through Friday, get up around 5:45, 6 a.m., go to school till about usually 2:30,
Okay.
and then get out. I'll take a little nap because I do get pretty tired. So
Yeah.
I'll probably take a nap for about 45 minutes, and then make sure all my schoolwork's done, and then I'll have about 4 to 5 hours to do everything I need to do with all my baseball. So I'll do at least like 4 to 5 lifts a day, or not a day, a week. And then I'll make sure I hit about every day, whether it's off the machine, tee work. I still find a way to get whatever I can in. And I'll do throwing about 3 to 4 times a week, probably.
And a little birdie told me you guys might have a pretty decent setup at your house. Is that true?
Yep.
Tell me a little bit.
Especially, like,
Tell me a little bit
COVID.
about that, man. What do you guys have going on in the basement, or where is it?
This is our garage. So we kind of got the land for it. We're out in Roy Hart. Got the Hicktown Roy Hart. So we got the cage in the backyard. Me and my dad built that during COVID.
Okay.
In the garage, we got a little squat rack. We got turf. We got a little net to hit into. So a lot of stuff you find a way to make work. And
Yeah,
especially living around here, like you got the cold weather. It's kind of tough. So
that's
you got to
right.
find a way.
You just led me right into the next thing I was going to ask you. I've been researching, one of the things actually when you pull Jonah up and you look at all of his kind of prospecting reports and all of if you really dig deep, there's a lot of things that say, all the talent in the world, but he's a Buffalo kid. And the fact that we don't get to play all year, versus these Texas cats and these North Carolina and Florida, and it's just such a huge disadvantage, right? And my son plays hockey as well, where I kind of feel like hockey around here is the big sport. Everybody kind of thinks their kid's the next Patrick Kane or whatever, but to have that disadvantage, right, where you're not able to go outside and play, if you're serious about this, you need to figure out a way to master your craft, right? And, it sounds like you guys kind of set it up with what you have going on there, but how much of a disadvantage do you think you truly have being in this area? Have you ever considered leaving the area, as far as giving yourself the maximum opportunity?
Yeah, I mean, I have talked about it with my parents. Obviously, I'm content here because in my opinion, I think the only disadvantage is like if you have a bad mentality about it. Like, if you really want it, you can make it work, and that's how I see it.
It's like you were raised right, bro. You know what I mean? I mean that to have that attitude at 17 and it's kind of a no excuses, no nonsense type attitude where if you're gonna try to make it work, you're gonna make it work, right?
Yep.
So when you were playing prep, I mean, was there other options for you? Were you going to try to fish around a little bit and go maybe play somewhere else, or did you want to stay around, home?
Yeah, so I went down to Long Island. I was playing some travel ball down there. I was looking at the options like Stony Brook. I was looking at some Ohio schools like University of Dayton.
Okay.
A couple East Coast schools, and I also had schools around here too, like Duville and Tripp, Fisher.
Yep.
I was kind of looking all over and was really looking for the best fit, money wise, academic, baseball, and just wherever I love it, man. And Canisius was a spot for me.
And Canisius has a great program. I mean, they always have. They've always had great baseball programs. I don't know this offhand, how many, if any, pro ball players they've had come out of there. I know they've had a lot of minor league ball players come out, and I don't know. I can't name one offhand. Do you know of any offhand that have gone to the major leagues from Canisius?
I'm not really sure. I know they got a guy that's in AAA right now, Ryan Boyer. He's a pitcher.
Okay.
But they've had many guys drafted. Like they had
for sure, yeah.
One last year. They might have another one this year, which is also in my position too. He's Jackson Strong.
Okay.
He's a local guy too, and it kind of goes to show that I can make that work too if I really put the work in.
Totally, man. And like I said, you have the absolute best attitude with that, right? It's lions not sheep is what I always say, right? And that's kind of the motto over here, which means you don't have to follow and listen, say you were the first. You'd be the pioneer then, right?
Sure.
Impulse is revolutionizing the physical therapy experience for active individuals in Western New York. From marathon runners to warriors of the weight room, we've got you covered. Our cutting-edge technology takes sport-specific testing to the next level. Our patient-centered approach lets you drive your own recovery. You can expect individualized one-on-one sessions every time you're here. And the game changer? Impulse is home to Western New York's only public board-certified sports PT. If you're ready to get back in the game, call Impulse today and mention Moneyball for $100 off your first visit.
You can certainly do something that no one's ever done. So if people don't take the path of college, right, what would be your path? Because I know there is a lot of baseball players. It's almost like hockey, right, where you can go into juniors and kind of go with a host family and do this and that, or you can go the college route. You can get signed, still go play college at a university or whatever, and still have the rights by a team. How does baseball work when you're kind of fishing around at your age, right, and kind of determining where you're going to go?
So, like, if you're a top guy in the country, most guys, like those top recruits, usually go out of high school, but I'd say about 98% of guys looking to go pro probably go college.
Yeah.
Because it's not like a hockey where you do like a juniors team or whatever. Like,
right.
I'm not really sure how that works in depth with hockey.
I've been learning through my interviews with people. You know, there's a couple, Joey Muldown, a couple other kids that have been drafted, and I'm learning. I didn't know either.
Yeah.
But it's such a crazy path. Like when you start to talk about it, there's so many options and it's so much pressure on kids, you know, and
it is.
That's really, you know, what it comes down to. And you have to love what you're doing because you seem to have a good family structure. I'm sure there's kids that you know or have known in the past where it was everything. I call them glory dad parents, right? Glory day parents, where they're just, you know, they're trying to live vicarious through their kids and you know, maybe they were going to make it at some point, or they thought they were, and they broke their leg and, you know, their dream was over. So let's do it with the kids. Right. But you have to have good structure where you're not pressuring the you know, the kid too much. You know, and is that how it was with you? Did you have enough support, but it was always kind of your choice? It wasn't like, this is what we're doing, you know, 6 hours a day. Like, how did that work?
It was definitely all on me. Like, neither of my parents were like huge athletes. Like I think I'm the first person in my family to play a college sport. Like,
really? Okay, cool.
I really I'm lucky to have two great parents that have like supported me into this, and they were always like, if you don't like it, then we're not gonna be upset if you quit. But obviously, like, don't quit in the middle of the season. Like, quit at the right time. But
yeah,
we're gonna
don't bail on your team. But
yeah. Yep.
But that's so important too. You know, and like I said, I did a short episode on hockey parents, and hockey parents and baseball parents are a little bit of a different dynamic. However, you know, I've coached baseball for a few years, and I kind of see that as well. And just that's at any level, right? Like, you know, we're now playing academy, but we've been through Hamburg and Eden and some other organizations, and just like the yelling, the screaming at the kids, the screaming at the coaches, you know, and coaches have it tough because most of them are not getting paid. They're volunteering their time, right? And they're going out. How have you seen, you know, your coaches personally? Is there any that really, you know, you considered almost father figures, right? Like somebody who just really, really took over and made a huge difference to you?
One sec, Dad. Sorry. Yeah, so I've had a great like handful of coaches. Probably my 13 through 15U coach and 16 through 17U, and my high school coach too.
Oh, let's hear him, man. Give him a shout out here. Who was it?
Jim Heidman. He's my high school coach. He's pulled me up in 8th grade. Always made sure I'm doing well and taking care of me and coached me great.
What's up, Moneyball family? I'm here to tell you about Smash Burgers from Buffalo Bros Burgers. Going to be opening a storefront in the village of Hamburg, and in the meantime, you can find them on the website wherever they're going to be in town. You're going to want to turn up and show out because they have some delicious burgers. Smash Burger is a couple of burgers smashed on a bun with some cheese dripping down. You hungry yet? Check out the Smash Burger from Buffalo Bros Burgers, man. It's good stuff.
Greg Krushka, he's the 13 through 15, and Greg Sarah. He's a 16 through 17.
Now, when you were down, a few more minutes, we'll just go into this. When you were down Long Island and things like that, were they younger coaches? Like, were they kind of younger kids who had just graduated or just played for, for a school like that? Or were these guys older coaches that?
So most of my coaches were like very like old school guys. So my Long Island coach, he's about in his 60s probably.
Okay.
But
Okay.
he's an old style kind of coach. He'll get on you, but
Yeah.
that's how I like get coached the best, and I like that accountability too. So
Yeah, absolutely. I have noticed there is though a lot of younger guys, right? That kind of just graduated or maybe realized that they're not going to go play pro and they just want to stay super involved. And I think that can be good too, because they can relate to the kids a little bit more, or they were just there, right? So like they're not too far disengaged from it. Like they kind of know coming up in the process, right? But your training regimen, man, sounds like it's second to none. I mean, really, it sounds killer. And I really wanted to do this, so I could say I was the first one that interviewed Brayden.
Yeah.
Once I see you on the draft board, bro. I like to jump on things. You know what I mean?
thank you. Yep.
Yeah, no, it's great. So I know you had said that there's a couple days a week with lifting and doing this. What advice do you have for a 10 or 12-year-old kid? What do you think the most important thing to consistently work on is?
I definitely suggest like starting like you don't have to lift weights, but build that strength, because that's really what put me ahead of all my competition. Is
Really?
I was physical, and like I got the strength to hit the ball out, throw hard, run fast. It really ups every part of your game, and it really just puts you ahead of everybody you play. So,
Dude, I saw you smash a couple balls in some video I was watching,
yeah,
and you're not the biggest dude, right? What are you, about 5'11"?
yeah, 5'10", 5'11". I'm in between that and about. I really like put on the muscle this year. I was up to 195. I'm around
Okay.
185 to 190 now. But
Yeah. Yeah, but I saw, I did a little research. I like to keep these pretty authentic. I don't do a ton, but I look back and it was like, they showed Brayden and it was through the years and it was like 5'6", 5'7", 170, right? Scouting reports, and then all of a sudden up to where you're at now. And then I saw you smash a couple and I'm like, wow, man, this kid's got some power. But I think you can attribute that to what you just said, right? Staying now, you weren't getting after weights, deadlifting and stuff, when you were 10, 12 years old. Were you doing a lot of band work and stuff like that?
yeah, so a lot of like body weight, band work. I did a little bit of weights. Like I started really young, like 6th grade maybe.
Okay.
I wasn't going like 5 days a week, but probably like 2 to 3. And I would do a little bit of like lifting, but I would do a lot more like figuring out your like athleticism and
Yep.
band work and body weight stuff. So
Yep. Yep. Almost some cross training stuff too, some footwork stuff. Yeah. And I'm getting on Deacon with this. I'm like, man, you gotta be able to do more than three push-ups, with your back all arched like a worm, man. You got to be able to know what you're doing here.
yeah.
So this was a lot of fun, man. Like I said, I just wanted to get on and make it short and sweet. But let's end it kind of fun, right? Let's do a couple of questions here so people know what's going on. Let's do a couple fun questions. What's your favorite food, Brayden?
Steak.
Steak?
Yep.
That was like, no doubt, man. Steak. You want a big old fat steak.
Yep.
What are we
That's
talking
fine.
here? Porterhouse, or what are we looking at?
I'm a strip steak guy.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
You like the fat all trimmed out of there. You don't want to mess around with it.
Yep. Like thick, just like that.
What kind of pregame music you listen to, man? What hypes you up?
So I usually like to start it off like some country to get my mind relaxed, and then I hype it up with I'll get some like rap music, maybe rock too. So
Yep. Okay. Yeah, I like it. You stay on your grind a little bit. What do you have playing right now? Like if I were to go and hit your iPad right now, what do you got playing?
a lot of Morgan Wallen, especially when I drive.
I dig them. I was never much of a country guy. My wife got me into it, and this Morgan Wallen, man, he's taking the world over. This dude, I'm a massive Atlanta Braves fan. And he's got what, 98 Braves or something as one of his jams, man. So yeah, I'll be down at spring training this year. We go every year, and I love watching these young prospects, man. And I truly hope, in a year or two, I got an inside connect with you, and you know, we're talking about this, and we're doing another interview on, you know, on how you got to where you're at there. So thanks for your time, man. This was a lot of fun. It was cool trying to, you know, getting to know you a little bit, and I wish you nothing but success in the future, brother.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We'll talk soon. We'll stay in touch. All right. Take care.
Thank you. Have a good one.